I think we need to slow down. It's a lot to process. And it won't stop there. More surprises were coming your way. You were almost dead, Bats. If it wasn't for that goddamn Talia. She saw her broken bat toy and decided to take it to Daddy Roz to fix it with his Lazarus pit.
Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
You cool though if we go ahead and just get started?
I'm cool! I'm really cool. I even picked my thing for next week. I'm all set.
Alright, cool. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Partu. Joining me today is the realest of them all, the real Manos, aka Justin Cristelli.
Yo, folks, how you doing today?
Oh, they're doing good, I'm sure. Manos, we're here today to continue our fan film reviews, and I wanted to get a couple of requests out of the way, so I was glad that we were able to knock out Godzilla Battle Royale last week, and this week we're doing another one that was requested via Twitter. I'm going to butcher your name, and I'm sorry, but by Rodrigo Aruza. Sorry if I fucked that up.
No, I think that was exactly perfect.
Yeah. That's the thing, is if you just say it with confidence, right? But Rodrigo,
you say it with confidence, the original person will go, wait, maybe that is how I pronounce it.
right?
I've been wrong all this time.
Oh, man. So he requested that we review a fan film that apparently some friends of his made called Bats and Jokes, Uncut, the Joker Origins fan movie. So I've not really seen any of this. I just clicked through and I saw some 2D animation, then some live action shots that looked pretty cool. So I was like, okay, this looks like something we can talk about, not just, ripped to shreds, which is good. So I'm interested to get into it, but I gotta say, when I first saw the title, I was like, oh, Joker Origin. I hate Joker origin stories, and this, I will say to its credit right off the bat, this is not what you usually think of when you hear Joker origin in the slightest. So I was quite impressed with it in that regard. Manos, what'd you think of this?
Like last week's show, we recorded 2 days ago. I have slightly mixed feelings of it. There's some extraordinarily cool ideas in here, mixed with some stuff that I didn't quite care for. I'll get to that. And I'm a little confused as to why they kept switching from animation to live action. To be honest, I'd prefer they just stayed with animation, really, because it takes up the bulk of the film. It does something, and the thing that impressed me most is the twist at the end. Because to be honest, the film was really kind of not really grabbing me all the way up until the twist. And then the twist I thought was a pretty unique, clever Joker origin that was kind of in the vein of Doctor Who with a little David Lynch.
Well, let me ask you this.
Dualism mixed in there. I like the twist a lot.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I think the twist enhances based on something, and I almost didn't get the chance to see it because I watched this on my lunch break at work, and I had to run out the door in the last couple minutes. But did you stay to the after the credits scene?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure about that because I think that affects the twist in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, for me, the twist at the end of this, and it's not like we're not doing spoilers, so the twist at the end of this, that the Joker is time-traveling Batman, is really, really bizarre, but I kind of love that. And, it's a really weird idea to give the Joker an origin, and to make it so cosmic and stuff like that is certainly not something you would expect tonally. But as someone who loves the duality between Batman and Joker's relationship, I actually really like the idea that Batman could go completely off the rails crazy and turn into the Joker.
Yeah, the thing is that struck me is nothing about this twist is anything I would like. I don't like time travel, cosmic kind of origins. I don't like, oh, hey, he went back time and now he became the thing, blah, blah, blah. I normally don't like those. This sold it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to credit them, but probably because I didn't see it coming. I think they hid their cards really well. Because first off, it was like selling itself as like a origin of the Joker, and we're getting like Batman stuff here, and so the fact that I don't know, I'm still like a little puzzled. Maybe you can explain this to me, but why did Batman shoot his own parents again? Did he just think there was someone else?
The implication I got is he had to go back in time and stop the Joker, and the one that shot the parents was the Ra's al Ghul arm, which just I can't help but think of Dr. Strangelove a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was. I forgot that it was the Ra's al Ghul arm. Yeah,
so it's like his possessed arm made him do it, and then he kind of went crazy from it. And yeah, it's a little ridiculous and goofy.
I hate that thing. I hate that shit. I really hate possessed arm stuff. I was gonna talk about that later. But you're right. I forgot that he shot them with the possessed arm.
Yeah. Okay. So like, here's my thing. That the more I've thought about this, this is, oddly enough, the first time Darkseid has ever appeared in a fan film we've talked about on Geeky Gentleman. All right? So it's got a novel sense in that. But I think the inclusion of Darkseid, and especially the end credits scene, completely changes the entire context of the story, because my argument would be, this is not the Joker's origin, this is not something that actually happened to Batman. The second Darkseid showed up, and the second that he showed up again in the end credits, my mind immediately went to what Grant Morrison dubbed the Omega Sanction, which is different from the Omega Beams. The Omega Sanction, Grant Morrison had Darkseid define as the life that is death, which is, he hits you with it, and you're transported to a pocket dimension where you live a life of torment, are killed, and brought back to live a life of torment, and be killed again, and then be brought back, and he can put you in this cycle and take you out of it whenever he feels like. And I'm not sure if the fan film creators knew about that particular power of Darkseid's, but that is where my head goes when I see this. So I don't think this is actually meant to be the Joker's origin. I don't think this is actually meant to be a real thing that happened to Batman, quote-unquote, in continuity. I think this is Batman being put through the Omega Sanction.
Wow.
That's my fan theory of it, at least.
Your fan theory of this fan film.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so. I think we're to take that at face value. At least that's what I'm thinking. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but at least that's the take I got on it. That we had this kind of we've seen this kind of thing before, where we have these dual souls fighting, and it just turns out to be like an internal struggle, and that's kind of the idea I felt the film was getting at, that this like passionate hatred between the two is actually just a case of just self-hatred that was not even known to the participant. So I just, like I said, I don't normally like that kind of thing, and I don't, especially in superhero stuff, and especially in Batman, which is not as cosmic generally. But I think that sold it. I do have some other problems with the film, but I don't know. I gotta admit, like, maybe it's because I just was completely blindsided by it, but I was kind of impressed with that part.
Okay. So you were talking about the arm, and that really, really bothering you. Is that the thing that it's like just a bridge too far?
It's a bridge too far. It's one of those things that we all have things in fiction that we constantly see. We constantly see these tropes over and over again, and some we're cool with, some we have no feelings towards, and some bug us. And the possessed arm of a dead killer trope, I occasionally see, and it annoys the shit out of me because it's stupid and it's not. It doesn't have brain stuff in it. I see. The arm and the hand have to work together, I guess. Oh, I don't know. It's it kills Nightwing and it kills his parents, and it's just
and it kills Killer Croc.
It kills Killer Croc, and like, how does it know? Like, is it working with his eyes? Is it conjunction?
Yeah, like, can we just talk about how impressive it is that the arm is able to aim without sight? Like, to perfectly kill Thomas and Martha Wayne?
Yeah, and you know what? The twist didn't need the arm. He could have been put into a situation, because what I first thought was, like, he sees them coming in shadow, and, maybe he just is really on edge. We just had nuclear war and Darkseid and all this other shit. Like, maybe his first instinct is to attack, or maybe he fights the killer and he shoots them by mistake, during the struggle. I don't know. It didn't feel like it needed this silly, dumb trope, like, introduced in this film.
Okay.
I don't know. It's and to be honest, like, did like Ra's al Ghul like plan that? Like, hey, if I give him my arm,
I can control it and use it to kill people.
Yep.
I don't know. That is, I think, the weaker part about it. I tend to agree. That was the point at which I started to lose it, and I started to theorize that this cannot possibly be quote unquote reality. This has to be some kind of hyper sensitive thing. This has to be some kind of nightmare or elaborate scenario. It can't be a real situation for Batman to be going through. And so then with Darkseid again, and knowing what I know about Darkseid's Omega Sanction, that's right where my head goes. And some of the more just absurd levels that this goes to, with, nuclear Armageddon, time travel, like, seeing all that happen just in one self-contained Joker story, and then, Bruce Wayne and the Joker are literally the same person, all that stuff just kind of adding together, and Alfred having died and been recreated as a artificial intelligence that's telepathically linked with Batman. So much of that stuff is just so heightened and ludicrous, I think is a good word for it, that it seems like it would have to be some kind of crazy situation other than normal day-to-day Gotham. And so that's where, like, if not Omega Sanction directly, something that Darkseid is creating these awful circumstances for Batman to be going through over and over again. That it is not a true scenario. That it's somehow all connected to Darkseid generating the event.
It does definitely have an influence of Grant Morrison's work in it. The crazier cosmic stuff, like, fitting itself into Batman. Of course, obviously, the tip-off is, Darkseid sending Batman back in time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Yeah, no kidding. And I do like the fact that, Joker sets up the scene in the Monarch Theater.
Mm-hmm. That was a cool set location that they got, though.
It looked great. I love the fact that it says "The End" behind them.
Also, just real quick production thing. I love Joker with a cane. It's always really cool, but it always seems maybe just... It's Joker, so it's okay that it's theatrical. It just seems a little unpractical. So I love the idea of making the cane a gigantic silencer, so that way you get kind of that callback to Jack Nicholson's Joker, and it kind of works with the cane imagery that you see the Joker using all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really cool thing.
And this is also a weird callback to Batman and Robin, with Alfred being turned into like a computer character.
Oh yeah, where Alfred's kind of the AI thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Batman Beyond did that in the comics recently. It was interesting.
Okay. I half expected him to do that Max Headroom stuttering thing that they did in the film. Like, come on, oh, you're not going to do it? Come on, go all the way. You know, I hated it. I hated it in the original movie, but if you do it here, I will love it. And they didn't do it.
But anyway, you were saying about the Monarch Theater being a great setting for the end.
Yeah, because he's like starting to talk about how he calls him Bruce, and you know we build up. You know, of course, when we get to the end, Joker, I guess he knows what's coming. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I really do like the bookend quality of placing it at the Monarch Theater. That's a really nice touch. You know, I was thinking like, you know, man, that could have been cool for the Return of the Joker Batman Beyond film if they had placed it there.
Oh yeah.
But I, you know, because that was my immediate thought, like, oh, it'd be cool if they did that. Mm-hmm. But because that's definitely totally a Joker thing he would do. Like once he found out and he wanted to create.
Correct
one
me if I'm wrong. Wasn't you don't play games, but I'm pretty sure that's where the final fight with Clayface took place in Arkham City.
Oh, okay.
So there's definitely precedent for that.
I can definitely trust you whenever you talk about Arkham City. You can tell me whatever, and I'll just believe you.
No, I was like, I cannot quite remember if that was where it was.
No, yeah.
Anyway, like the plot, I'm kind of back and forth on. There are things I definitely like about it, but I want to talk more about the production stuff because I think the costuming, makeup, and production quality of the live action stuff is great. Like, I'm watching the end credits scene again, and that is an amazing looking Darkseid. Again, for the first time I've ever seen Darkseid in a fan film, that is how you do it. I'm gonna like look for New Gods fan films now and see if I can have Darkseid pop up, but it's just gonna be compared to this now. Though I will say I don't like the dub, the voice actor they got for Darkseid, very much. I just like the line delivery is just off. It feels like he's like I can hear him reading kind of thing. And the sound of the voice is just okay too. But like the Joker makeup look and the outfit that he's in and the Batman, like something about Batman with a beard always gets me.
He had a full on mustache.
Yeah. So
he looked like the first thing I thought of when I saw him and the Joker. I thought immediately that he looked like Angry Joe. Batman looked a lot like Angry Joe in the live action scenes. And then I started looking at the Joker. It's like, oh, you look like Jason Jones from Daily Show. Which I would not cast those two as Batman and Joker.
Well, I mean, they could have done worse, right?
Yes.
Anyway. So like I like a lot of the look of the production stuff, and you know it's a lot of still or just barely moving animation with a lot of like lighting effects and noise textures over it, but the 2D animation quality really works. It looks pretty good.
I was very impressed with it. Yeah, it doesn't move too much. It's a slow frame rate, however you call it technically. But I felt it worked, and you know, with fan animation, I'm very, very kind when I watch fan animation. It's like, you know, it's very hard work. It's very time consuming. It costs a lot of money. So, like, if it looks good, okay, cool. If the frame rate isn't quite up to par, well, hey, that's fine. I'm not going to bitch about that. Yeah. I think it looks rather good. Matter of fact, the animation in this looks a lot better than those motion comics that they were doing a few years ago, like from Marvel and DC's Watchmen motion comics. I think this looked better than that.
I'd agree. It's right around that same area. Like, I was thinking about that, and I think what this might be is what's called a parallax effect, where you take a 2D image and then do a lot of photoshopping to cut it into different layers, like the background and then the character, and then like maybe the character's limbs are each a layer, and then you kind of create animation by attaching a digital skeleton structure to the character and just have, subtle movement. Because that's how those motion comics are done. And just looking through some of the animation here, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they did some of this, because it's not really a lot of like fluid moving animation aside from the lip sync.
I did also appreciate that the other characters that don't appear in live action, like Gordon, Catwoman, and Killer Croc, look like their classic counterparts. But when you see Joker and Batman, they look like the actors.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a smart move, because I thought as soon as we were going to see Joker and Batman, they were going to look more like, classic depictions. And no, they were smart enough to actually try and design them to look like they're actors. So that was a nice touch.
Yeah. Also like glowy things. I like glowy Nightwing. I could get behind a glowy Nightwing.
That was interesting.
Yeah. I could deal with that. But yeah, just a lot of this really worked for me. I thought it looked pretty good.
I really do feel like I really wish they had just stuck and just done animation for the entire film.
Yeah, but at the same time, I really like the actor playing Joker. I think he does... Like, I feel like a lot of people that play Joker in fan films, they try to do somebody else. I feel like this guy's really doing his own thing with the character, and I really appreciate that. And he's just really good at, like, kind of the manicness. Like, I really feel like he's laughing so hard that he has to, like, walk away. Because I know I've had that. I've had someone saying something really funny and making me laugh to the point where I had to, like, take a couple steps away just to, get my bearings or whatever. And so I feel like he's really naturally delivering that. And he's just got such a great energy. Like, that whole sadistic situation where Batman's trying to escape and he makes the deal. He's like, I'm going to throw my gun away, then go try to find it. That'll give you time to escape. And if you don't escape, by the time I find my gun, I'll kill you. Like, that was a really, really high energy scene. And then he throws the gun and he doesn't just, like, run down the stairs or anything. He takes, like, a leap off the stage. He looks like a kid. And that is so perfectly a way to play the Joker in my mind. And obviously with this more subtle, very little movement kind of animation, I don't think they could have done that kind of level of energy that he's providing.
I disagree. I didn't like the Joker at all in this film. The reason why I didn't care for his live action performance is the exact opposite direction. I actually thought his manicness, his energy, and his laughter all felt forced, and I really felt like I was watching like a run through of the scene and not the scene. I think he did a little bit better. I think he did a little bit better performance wise doing the voiceover work. Mm-hmm. But in the live action scenes, I just was waiting for it to go back to animation.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting that we're so far apart on that then.
Yeah, that's cool. The only thing I really didn't like about the animation was Batman's mask was it was over his nose, mm-hmm. which it just looks odd. It's just that's a nitpick, I guess. But I don't know why they missed that. But there's one thing about I can say about his performance. He looked good. He looked really good as the character, as Joker, and I can't forgive some of his manicness. Not really feeling too energetic, because this is Batman. This is Bruce Wayne as the Joker. Mm-hmm. And I guess after 70, 80 years, he's the only character who hasn't become the Joker in some weird, twisted reality.
You should watch...
Alfred's been his fucking mom's been the Joker. So I guess it's Batman's turn to be the Joker, and then I guess Dick Grayson will be Joker next, and then Barbara Gordon.
Barbara Gordon becomes the Joker.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, it's equal opportunity to be the Joker.
Let's keep going.
See,
everybody gets to be the Joker.
I will trade that story for everybody getting to be Man-Bats, because recently there was a Harley Quinn cover where she was a woman bat, and God, I really like that cover. I would collect the shit out of just everybody becomes a Man-Bat. It's like Man-Bat Island.
I was just about to say, like, that'd be a great fucking story for Batman. Like, everybody gets, like, the Man-Bat virus or something.
Yeah, I'd be down. Okay.
Let's do that, DC. Here's our next event.
Yeah. Everybody in the DC universe gets Man-Batified. Everybody, no exceptions.
Man-Bat City.
Oh, man. All right, anyway, back to this
by Scott Snyder.
Did the score for this, the music for this, hit you at all, or is it just kind of serviceable?
It was serviceable. I don't really remember it.
Yeah, same here. Nothing really stood out, but like, it felt right in the moment. Trying to think if there's anything else worth talking about with this one.
Here. The film lost me at a certain point and then got me back. Obviously, you can probably guess where it got me back was with the twist. That really got me kind of like invested back in the film. But where the film lost me was when Nightwing confronts Batman. Mm-hmm. That scene just I kind of almost laughed at it. Because we're told that Joker had like created the situation where he used this is all kind of subtly building up. Like, Joker was somehow able to use some of Batman's weaponry, and he uses it to kill a whole bunch of cops and criminals at the same time, take out, other villains. And so, like, Dick Grayson comes to him going, "Hey, man, you're killing cops." And it's like, you have no trust of Batman?
Yeah. And
you're
that again
Grayson.
goes... Yeah, that again goes to, like, kind of the unreliable narrator, mystic realism, kind of this... Everything about this situation is just too off the rails for me to believe it's supposed to be reality.
Like, Jason Todd Robin or Bruce Wayne Jr., whatever the hell his name is, Damian. Yeah, I could sort of maybe see them, like, kind of going right to 10. But Dick Grayson would ask Batman, like, "Hey, did this happen? Is someone trying to frame you?" Mm-hmm. He wouldn't immediately try to attack Batman.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and I wouldn't even put Damian up there, and maybe just out of the Lazarus Pit, Jason Todd would be dumb enough to do that, but even him, probably not.
Well, Jason Todd's dumb enough to do anything. Like, especially Dick or Tim. Those guys trust Batman. I don't know. That scene just felt false to me. And of course, then he kills him with the magic Ra's al Ghul arm.
Yeah. And again, that's the kind of thing that makes me go, okay, this has to be a creation of some kind. And then Darkseid shows up. I'm like, well, he comes out of left field. And then Darkseid shows up at the very end and looks awesome again, by the way. And
yeah, he does.
Has his whole thing of you are the creation of the anti-life equation. For me, that I'm like, okay, there's no way that this is not Darkseid creating this scenario in my head.
That actually, I think, would be better. Like, it would be... You could remove the Ra's al Ghul stuff and just have Darkseid manipulating it, which would make more... It feels really left out of... it feels like it comes out of left field when Darkseid shows up. Mm-hmm. So if he'd been manipulating things up until that point, that would be a little bit better suited, I think.
I'd agree with that to a certain point, because, like, I could see if maybe they had, like, access to a really good Ra's and Talia al Ghul costume or set, like, they had, like, the perfect place, like, an abandoned YMCA with like a hot tub in the basement that just looked like really grody, and then they like put like neon dye or something into it to turn it into a Lazarus pit. Like if they had the perfect set to do something like that in, I could totally see why they would throw Ra's al Ghul into the story. But since it's just in animation and you can literally animate anything, I did not see the need for Ra's al Ghul whatsoever.
No.
That did kind of come out of left field. So yeah, maybe the reveal of Darkseid at the end, or toward the end of the thing, and then the ultimate end credits thing, I think is a satisfying enough twist upon the twist upon the twist.
It is. I've been harsh on some parts of this, but yeah, the twist I think really makes up for a lot of my complaints.
Mm-hmm. And again, for someone that hates Joker origin stories because it kind of misses the point, this does a really cool job of giving us a fascinating idea for the Joker and how he began, kind of thing. So I thought that was neat. And what I guess I'm impressed by with that is they really seed it throughout the entire thing. They, like, when he starts telling the story, he's like, I'll tell you the story about the night you became Batman and I became the Joker. And that's literally what happens, is Batman goes back to kill his parents. That's the night Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. And it's also the thing that makes Bruce Wayne become the Joker. So I don't know, that was kind of cool.
That stuff is really well seated. You're right, really well seated. And the fact that, why would he have control over Batman's new Alfred computer? And of course that gets explained. Although I guess there's a minor question I have about that. Is it goes online, and since he is also Bruce Wayne, by the way, I do like that moment where he's sitting in Arkham in the dark, and Alfred comes into his head and says he's online, and he starts using it immediately. I think that's a really effective creepy scene. I like that one a lot. I do have a question though. Wouldn't
Bruce be hearing
that? Why? Wait, who's Alfred talking to? That's my only question about that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Bruce has to be thinking to use it, so he wouldn't just randomly get interference or something.
But if they're the same guy, it would be different if Joker somehow was a different person and got to communicate with him. But no, this builds it as he's able to get that access because he is Bruce Wayne. And it has no way of identifying, the difference. So it just seems to me both Bruce Waynes would hear this. That's my only nitpick about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you could find a way to justify it, though.
You could. I can't. I've been thinking of how. Because I said, they're the same guy.
Alfred kind of goes. Alfred kind of goes through the rules, and he's says something, if I'm remembering correctly, to the effect of, "You have to be the one to initiate it with me," or something like that, or you have to be conscious or willing. And if Batman's just focused on something else and not consciously willing, trying to connect with Alfred, then it would make sense that Bruce Wayne, Joker, is able to. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a stretch.
It's a fuzzy one. I'll give you that.
But
did it bother you in the moment, or is that something you just kind of came to as you thought about it more and more?
No, actually, that kind of hit me when I was watching the film.
Oh, okay.
That immediately hit me after I realized how he was able to gain access. Because at first I was like, oh, that's really cool, and then I thought, well, wait, why doesn't other Bruce Wayne hear this? So yeah, that took maybe a few seconds.
Okay, all right. Well, you want to go ahead and go on to ratings then?
Yeah, I think so. And it seems like every week on this show we have what I think I like about doing this is I have complex feelings about each film, and I actually have really enjoyed that so far. Maybe with the possible exception of the Metroid film, which I overwhelmingly liked. the last few we've been watching, it's been kind of nice to be watching a film that, I have problems with, and I can, talk about. And maybe some things I was irritated by, some things I loved within the same movie, and I really kind of like that. Because sometimes you get kind of complacent, because, Hollywood professional movies are, sometimes at the worst, just okay, it's fine.
Yeah, right?
And,
it takes a real stinker, right?
Yeah, and those don't come all the time. And to be honest, like I wasn't going to go see the Emoji Movie. I usually have a good head on my shoulders about avoiding crap. But fan films, there's something really exciting about them because you really don't know what you're getting into when you step into them.
Yeah, it's great, right?
Yeah. So, this one had a lot of mixed feelings for me. I like the twist way more than I would have thought.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I did not have this described to me at all, because if you had described this to me, I probably would have been ready to hate it. That's weird for me because I have such a thing for Batman Joker-fied or Joker Batmanified kind of thing. My favorite episode of The Batman is the one where Joker dresses up as Batman. It's beautiful. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and go first. I'll give this 3.5 out of 5 Joker gun canes that are just a really long silencer.
I am going to give this 3 out of 5 Joker fish.
Okay, nice. Manos, what are we going to be talking about next time?
I thought I'd go around the world to Japan and pick one of their... Oh, wait, we just did that last week. Anyway, let's go back to Japan with Ghost in the Shell, Night Stalker. I discovered this a couple weeks ago when we started talking about fan films and piqued my interest, so I wanted to check it out. I've only watched the first 2-3 minutes, so I'm going in cold as well.
Oh, cool. Excellent. All right, everyone, join us next week for that. Thanks very much for listening. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm the Realist.
And we are your Geeky Gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.